Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, sharing, liking, and subscribing and commenting and all the wonderful things that you do to support me, the channel, the videos. I do appreciate it. If you are not yet a subscriber, please do consider hitting both the subscription button and the bell button to best ensure that you receive notifications every time I put up a new video, particularly these astrological bi-weeklies that you must be into, because here you are. This is the reading for Virgo, and Virgo has had some pretty interesting readings, pretty intense readings since I've been back at these zodiac readings. I did them a couple years ago when I first got on YouTube, and for a period, and I had stopped, and I'm back with them. And yeah, Virgos have been super, super interesting each and every time. And I don't think this is going to be any different, because right away, this Queen of Pentacles in reverse that's in your position of work and finance, she was in Cancer's reading too. And you have a Knight of Cups, which may be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces in this position of energy that's surrounding you. So it could be a mate or somebody with whom you work, or friend, family member. It could be, your energy too, sort of, less direct than this Five of Wands that's going to more directly represent you, or be something that you may have to contend with over the next 2 weeks. And the Five of Wands showed up in the Gemini reading. And similar to the to the Cancer reading, when the Five of Wands showed up in the Gemini reading, I said, I feel like this conflict doesn't even necessarily really involve Gemini, that it involves Gemini's, friends or family members or co-workers or something like that. And I'm feeling Leo, and I'm feeling Virgo, like very specifically. And then I did the same thing in the Cancer reading as it related to relationships. I said, I think there was a Virgo involved, and it was based off of this Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Well, sure enough, I posted that reading this morning, the Cancer reading. I thought I had done it last night, and this morning I realized that I had not. So I said, let me hurry up and get this up there. And not long after I posted it, a Virgo commented that they were, looking forward to theirs, because theirs had been so accurate over the last couple times that I did it, and they saw, and they were so happy to have found my channel, and they were watching the Cancer one. I guess they were involved with the Cancer. I'm not sure if I remember that being, specified or not, but they were watching the Cancer reading. And yeah, sure enough, you have this. So let me tell you about the Cancer reading. You can check it out yourself, especially if you are dealing with a Cancer. I recommend you check it out yourself. But one of the things that I picked up on there was that the Queen of Pentacles, who would be you, was turned upside down as it related to love, because the Cancer was giving out mixed signals, and you have an overall energy, the Seven of Cups in reverse, that now after picking it up, I'm seeing reveals also a Ten of Wands upright. So like you carrying the brunt of a situation, carrying the burden. I think you've been carrying the brunt or the burden of a situation in your relationship. Those of you, to whom this speaks to whom I'm speaking to right now, that are in these relationships with these water signs perhaps, but definitely more specifically Cancer, they have been giving you mixed signals. They have been playing games. They have been bullshitting. And it's not necessarily malicious, because here's the thing. Like, they need to do some introspection and find out what they want. So I posted a picture also on my Facebook, my YouTube feed earlier. And it said, like, me, I love being single. Also, or I'm tired of being single, rather. Also me. No, I don't want your number. No, I don't want to give you mine, like the TLC song, No Scrubs. So it's like they can't make up their mind. And then wanting to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship, a lot of them, because they really do, wish to remain single. So unfortunately, some of them may have roped some of you into their foolishness and got you all mixed up and emotional, maybe even emotionally attached, thinking you're going to have something with them, and they're bullshitting. So the Hangman here in your position of love and relationships, means that a bunch of you are considering, whether you're in a relationship with a Cancer or not, a bunch of you are considering walking away from a romantic relationship that you're in. Where you're not getting rid of the relationship, you may be letting go of like your picture, your vision, your dream, right? Because the Seven of Cups can be about dreams and your head being in the clouds and all kinds of things. At least for me, the way that I pick it up, the way I read it. It's not a court card, but it comes through so very strongly Piscean and Neptunian as if it was a court card for me. So yeah, you can be having all kinds of ideas and maybe about how the relationship is supposed to look, how it's supposed to feel. So whatever your vision about a particular kind of relationship, or having a relationship with a particular person, or having them be a certain way, and you thinking like that's the only way it can be perfect, essentially, right? That's the only way you can be happy. That's the only way it can be perfect. If you're not letting go of the relationship itself, you may be having to let go of some of those things and realizing you're not perfect. Because that's another thing. Virgos, they be thinking they're perfect sometimes. And I'm not speaking, like I don't dislike Virgos. And as a matter of fact, I tend to like me a Virgo man, to be honest. But you do have a thing when you think you're perfect. My only two serious boyfriends in high school were Virgos, 9/11 and 9/19. I ended up marrying a Gemini though. Anyway, yeah, so it's not that I don't like y'all, but I gotta call it how it is. And you're not perfect. And you're gonna have to realize that and accept that, and accept that not only are you not perfect, but other people aren't perfect either. And so we need to stop seeking perfection in them. And where we are seeking, the impossible from other people, that may mean something else about us. You may have to look to your hermit, because the hermit in the tarot represents the sign of Virgo. And it's all about introspection and going within and dealing with our own insecurities, maybe our own fears, and learning about ourselves so that we can be better us's. Right? And you may want to do that when, you're coming into this realization and, epiphany about you and your mate and the relationship, and the fact that either the relationship's going nowhere or it's not going where you expected or how you expected, and the decision that needs to be made, because the Seven of Cups can also be your overall energy here. It's in reverse, but it can also be about the need to make a decision that has to be made. Am I okay with that? Can I be content with the relationship different than I had envisioned it? Or do I need to, release this altogether? That's going to be on you. I'm not telling anybody to get out of their relationships, because that's not even necessary in every case, especially since we do have the Knight of Cups up right here. So in some cases, relationships are going to be, love is in the air at least, and relationships may very well be healthy, and we should be open to them. Maybe this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, although it's in your position of work and finance, I'm looking at it aside from that right now. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse, separate and apart from work and finance, like in a more general sense. First of all, it can be a dark-haired woman. It can mean a dark-haired woman is going to be particularly impactful or play, a certain role, an important role in your life in some way over the period of the next 2 weeks. But more importantly than that, it is about our need to pay attention, to the energies and the details in our lives, and to basically to nurture things, to nurture ourselves, to nurture others, and also things that are close to home, issues that are close to home, your foundations. What have you not been paying attention to? So maybe that includes your relationships, and maybe you have to give a more, nurturing and loving energy to them. Because I also had explained something about a Virgo to somebody one day. I was talking about how we all have different love languages. And a Virgo's way of showing you that they love you may not be to just, come out and say it and reveal themselves, especially since you guys are ruled by Mercury like us, us Geminis. We're not necessarily going to come out off the bat that openly, like a water sign may, perhaps. So they might be looking for you to like shower them or something, and with praise and all kinds of stuff, and thinking that you're not very interested. But meanwhile, Virgo's way of saying I love you is by doing really awesome things for a person. So like a Virgo that I dated, for example, used to clean my car for me all the time, and even like bought me a car back as a present. That was a gift of love. That was an offering of love. Was it romantic? Otherwise, no. But that was him showing me that he cared about me. Like, that, or he wouldn't have done it. As a Virgo, he wouldn't have bought me anything if he didn't. You know what I mean? So there's a love language clash potentially too. And that may be why things aren't turning out the way that you'd expected, because you got a Virgo plan, and and they got water behavior, or air sign behavior, or fire sign behavior, and so it's not fitting into your plan the way you had envisioned. The Hanged Man is also a Pisces, now that I think about it. So some of the Piscean energy here, sitting here right underneath the Knight of Cups. You're maybe not a Cancer for some of you, maybe a Pisces. So in that order: Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Normally I would say Pisces first, but since I sort of like, I've seen this movie already, you know what I mean? Okay, so aside from that, because that's just one scenario, one situation that's been going on, you got the Five of Wands here in this position that most directly represents you over the next 2 weeks, so like the focal point. And the Five of Wands, even in reverse, can still be about conflict, not about the conflict being over, still about conflict being, you being like in the midst of it, even. And I think that's what it is, given the fact that, this card is also, that represents your energy, even if it's not you directly, it's in reverse. So I think that the conflict is still going on. And like I said in my Gemini reading, I saw Gemini being close to people who were conflicted, and one of whom was a Virgo, from what I was feeling. The Wands, more so than, say, the Swords for me. Like the Swords, I always feel can be like conflict with anybody. It can be about you being conflicted. It can be all in your head, especially since it's swords. Swords are about mental energy and, thoughts and ideas and communication and stuff. That's what air signs are about. So it could have nothing to do with nobody else, potentially. Or it could, have something to do with a complete stranger, So a stranger could step on your foot, or you can step on a stranger's foot, and there goes the conflict. But with Wands, for me, in my observation, if it's not about you being conflicted, as in like inner turmoil, then it typically has to do with close friends and or family or work, and like competition at work. And that may be, since the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is in your position of work and finance, sitting right here underneath the Wands, there could be something funky going on at your office. Somebody who is trying to compete with you or take credit for your work, steal your raise, your bonus, your promotion, just make you look bad, besmirch your name somehow, something. Very, very possible for you guys, Virgo. So be on the lookout of that. For that, and keep your eyes open, pay attention, because if anybody does try to play you want to clear that up. You want to get that cleared up. You don't want to let the misinformation ride. You know what I'm saying? Not at the office, or not where your reputation is at stake. Even if you own your own business or something, you say, well, it doesn't matter. Like, no, don't let people get the wrong idea about you. If you have control of it, if you can control the narrative, then you control the narrative. And if it's a false narrative, you set it straight, right? Other than that, the Knight of Cups has good news about work. So there could be improvement. When knights usually bring, messages, or they bring action to the messages. Like pages bring news, right? And then the knights sort of bring those messages to action. And so this, as it relates to finances and to work, A Knight of Cups is a super, super positive omen. And so I would have to say that he only improves the situation. His energy only improves the situation of her being in reverse here. So it can only get better. But pay attention. Make sure you're aware of what bills you have and things as it relates to finance. It's like specifically having to do with your home or your household, your family, you know, if you have children. Something, you know, may pop up unexpectedly, and you just want to know like what your budget is and what's going on, because again, there could be conflict there. Something could be awry. Then this with the Five of Wands in reverse crossing this position of your relationships. Again, there could be conflict with you and a partner or with your idea of a partnership. And that is something that you know, have the potential to correct too, and that you're going to want to correct. Let's see what the Oracle messages have to add to this. So I have here the Universal Love Oracle, and your overall energy is enchantment. And as you can see, this card is a card of healing energy to maybe to get you restored and turned back right side up, right? I see this as like Venus and Mars, like both of those healing energies, the masculine and feminine, coming down into this woman who's in full surrender. To me, she's clearly nude, right? I see her breasts here, you know, very clearly, and her face is all scarred. So I can tell like she's been through some shit, you know what I'm saying? But still, she has tremendous faith enough where she's here in surrender with her head tilted back, her eyes closed, and allowing for whatever healing has to happen to occur. So that's what you guys are guided to do as well. And it's all green, right? So it's kind of like that all your energy is here too, this earth energy waiting to, again, be balanced out by both the masculine and the feminine, or perhaps Mars and Venus. From the fortune reading cards, you have an overall energy of mountain. Know that you're protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. So I think that's what I was just saying, right? Like, you know, you're pretty strong and you're going to be all right. But there are likely some challenges here, and it may be because somebody funky is around you in your work or close to your financial situation somehow. You know, maybe they're a client at your place of business, if you own your own business, or, you know, a vendor, somebody, a colleague, I don't know, somebody is a direct competitor maybe in your line of work, and so they're messing with you. Or, and you might not even know it, right? Because they could be messing with your bag, as they say, with your money. But the Knight of Cups comes to as sort of like a knight in shining armor to help you and to improve the situation. Unless he's here as the love interest who's playing games, you know, whether innocently or maliciously, just sending out mixed signals, and we need to have a conversation and get on the same page or not, right? And then figure out from there where we're going to go. What are our options, right? But one person cannot keep a relationship going by themselves. One person can't carry a relationship. It has to be a 50-50 situation. Now, this is also interesting. I'm holding the mountain card in my hand, right where I picked it up. Right behind it is this card, Patience. Guess whose card this was? Yep, Cancers. Patience. Slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. Also up right beneath that, this is good news. This is Cracker. Positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune await. So I would agree with that again with this here. 'Cause this is what's surrounding you. Also, Unity upright right behind Cracker. A time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. So this can be about bringing somebody into your life that is more appropriate with you, better aligned with you, or about a renewed energy coming to those relationships that are sort of mismatched at the time, that don't seem to be working out because, you know, our energies are conflicting, and our love languages, you know, we speak two different languages. It's like one of you is speaking Mandarin and one of you is speaking Cantonese, or, you know, one of you is speaking Spanish, one of you is speaking English. It's not the same. You may be able to make out some of it, but you're not going to be able to hold a complete conversation when you don't speak the same language. And there's going to be some sort of conflict, some sort of disturbance there between the two of you. So there's that. Also, upright behind these, this is the last one, is Moon. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. So definitely any signs that you receive, any messages intuitively, gut feelings, what your heart is telling you to do, definitely follow that. Also, I do have to mention the moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces. And Earth's moon, like the real moon, rules the sign of Cancer. So again, those two signs could be particularly significant. Pay attention to your intuition, definitely. Just the Knight of Cups is going to tell you to do that also. He's here saying to do that also. And the Hangman, if we want to look at it in a different way too, is tremendously intuitive and spiritual as well. And definitely, I think, telling us to tune in, look at him as sort of like your hermit, right? Tune in, go within, figure it out. Like, what do you want? And then once you're on the same page with yourself, you can, see if another person is able to get on the same page with you or you with them. And if not, either accepting that we're going to be on different pages, but maybe we can make that work, or deciding that, it can't and we're moving on, whether it's a friendship, or a familiar relationship that's toxic, or certainly a romantic relationship that, we keep butting heads. What are we going to do? Further to that, for the masculine, world. Be open to new possibilities. I think that's what I was just saying, right? So for some of us, it'll be renewed, a situation renewed in a new way. And for others, something brand new, because it's just the old thing just wasn't working and we couldn't fix it. So be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life, and then they will come in. And again, this Knight of Cups that's surrounding you, he is available to send these new possibilities and healing in positive energy, good fortune, and something to put a smile on your face to all these areas here, right? For the feminine, very nice. Star. Hard times are over. And look at it. It's like the same kind of pattern as Mountain. They sort of, they sort of mimic each other in a way. That's interesting. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. Could be involved with air signs too. Or maybe most specifically Aquarius. In the tarot major arcana card, the star represents the sign of Aquarius. It's all about communication, which again, like I said, some needs to happen. Also prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true. And again, in the Gemini reading, I did see people close to an air sign. So it could be yourself. Like maybe you have this air in your chart also. Who was having conflict with Virgo and Leo was what I was seeing and feeling most specifically. So you got star here. So you're manifesting when this shows up. And speaking of manifestation, for the masculine, from the Universal Love Oracle, Trilogy of Light, which is a card. It's a number 3. And 3 is about creativity. And this card is, no different. It's about creativity and coming up with creative ways to help to bring about abundance in your own life. And you may find over the next 2 weeks that not only are you coming up with these creative ways, but like you're just a wealth of, ideas and thoughts. And, write them down if you're at risk of forgetting them. And, take all kinds of notes, because I think you're going to see some ideas manifesting into reality, into fruition. And again, maybe with the help of this Knight of Cups, because it's going to bring, improvement, betterment to your situations. And lastly, for the feminine, it's more moon. More moon. Very interesting. Again, the moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces. Pisces could be particularly significant. The moon in the sky above us represents or rules the sign of Cancer. Cancer could be very significant. But then again, more importantly than that, the goddess is another card of surrender. The moon is about surrender for me, and more specifically, feminine energy of surrender. But feminine nude body, anytime I see that, it's also about surrender, vulnerability, letting go, just literally coming down to our bare essence. and, you know, stripping away any and all fear, and, you know, forging ahead confidently, goddess that we are, toward all of our dreams and making them come true. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your reading once again. Hope I didn't disappoint you. We've been on a roll. I thank you for revisiting my channel, being with me once again. For those of you who are newcomers, I thank you for coming this time. I hope you'll come back. I'll be back on the 18th. Please do hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you can get any messages that I've put up new videos. If you like services from me, readings, energy healing, any of the cool merchandise we have available on my Society 6 page or my Teespring page, the description box will have all that information for you. Namaste.